occasion of the inauguration ceremony of the Charter of the 14th February Revolution. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all the praises and thanks be to Allah, the Lord of oppressed people, and peace be upon the great Prophet Muhammad and his noble family. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Peace be upon people of Bahrain Revolution, upon martyrs of glorious revolution, upon rebels in fields and brave fighters, and upon our steadfast women. Peace be upon eminent gallant people of Cali. Peace and mercy of Allah be upon you, honorable audience. With most love, with most respect, many thanks to Ali's people for hosting inauguration ceremony of their Charter of February 14th Revolution in its English version. We as the coalition of the youth of 14th February Revolution, whatever we say, can't reciprocate your favor and the will of all people in our steadfast village that have sacrificed and still sacrificing in the seek of freedom, dignity, and victory, which we believe is very close with permission of Allah. The continuity of our revolution, its legendary steadfastness, and achieving its objectives and desired principles can only be done under divine auspices and care or sanctity. And this is the fruit of rebels' doubtlessness in the fields of revolutionary struggle, and the steadfastness of the martyrs and wounded and state and detainees' families. We bow our augustness to the feet of mothers, and proudly stand in front of fathers' recusancy, and we kiss the foreheads of withstanding revolutionaries' youth. So to you we offer all our greetings and gratitude. Everybody in and outside Bahrain has realized that the February 14 revolution has shaped the bright future of Bahrain, and by its courtesy, many future policies and strategies in Gulf will change. Al Khalifa throne has started trembling under the blows of rebels and endurance of people, and with permission of Allah, is in its way towards help, inshallah. This is all because from the very beginning, we and you were straightforward in our revolutionary principles, revolutionary means, and revolutionary goals. Yes, since the first day of the first martyr, Ali Mushayma, we announced our objective. We and you are still committed to, and will never turn away from, until we have Bahrain free of Al Khalifa and Saudi occupation. From here emerges the importance of the launching the Prayer Charter, which has already been published in the Arabic version, to become one of the most important documents of the revolution and its ethics that rebels derived manners of revolutionary work from. Today, as we meet you, and from the town of the two blessed martyrs, Ja'far, Maiyo, and Abdullah bil-Aqil, the town of pottery and ancient history of Awad, a few meters away from the stronghold of the criminal regime of Al Khalifa, we announce the inauguration of the Prayer Charter in English, which in future will be published in other languages to declare the message obviously and unequivocally that we are heading towards overthrowing this brutal regime, obtaining self-determination, and rebuilding our political and economical regime fully free. Most thanks and acknowledgement to you all. Al-Fatiha to our glorious martyrs, freedom to detainees in torture prisons, recovery to bleeding wounded youths, and victory to our people, your brothers in the coalition of the youth of 14th February Revolution, Sunday the 6th of May 2012, occupied Bahrain, Cali.
الميثاق باللغة الإنجليزية, the World Charter in English. This is the summary. So pay us a little bit attention. Preface, believing change is the law of God. The revolution in Bahrain, which sparked on the 14th of February 2011, was largely inspired by the Islamic awakening and the Arab Spring and other revolutions worldwide. The revolution is a constitution continuation of 2 centuries-long struggle between the Al-Khalifa tribe and the people of Bahrain. First, February 14 revolution unleashed. Pearl Square has been the focal point for peaceful demonstrations that united various sectors and political movements. Despite their peaceful movement, people were confronted with extreme state violence. 3. The regime has repeatedly ignored calls for reform, so people found no choice except to overthrow this regime and rebuild a new one. Second, the coalition of the youth of 14th of February revolution. The coalition of the youth of February 14th revolution was born from the very heart of the revolution. It was constituted by independent young revolutionaries who shared the vision and aspirations of the martyrs, the detainees, and anyone who has offered sacrifices for the sake of democracy and freedom. And the coalition vows to continue the path of struggle until the illegitimate regime of Al-Khalifa is overthrown and the right to self-determination is realized. Third, principles of the revolution. Guided by the core Islamic rule to stand against injustice and slavery and uphold freedom and dignity, we stress on the following principles. 1. Confirm the authenticity and patriotism of the revolution. 2. The regime of Al-Khalifa has lost its legitimacy and shall be dealt with accordingly. 3. Liberate the country from any unjust ruler. 4. Refuse of all forms of foreign intervention from Saudi Arabia or any other country. 5. Avoid wasting time and efforts on any secondary differences. 6. Evaluate the efforts of any party that aims to promote the rights of the people and their demands. 7. Activate all appropriate options to realize the goals of the revolution. 8. Promote the concept of patriotism. 4. Goals of the revolution. The 10 points below are the main goals of the revolution. 1. Overthrow the tribal and illegitimate regime of Al-Khalifa and bring its figureheads to justice for the crimes they have committed. 2. Endorse the right of people for self-determination. 3. Dismantle the existing security apparatus and restriction. 4. Reform the existing judicial system. 5. Reinforce the principle of separation of the 3 powers. 6. Maintain nationwide cohesion. 7. Create a realistic solution to resolve the issue of political and systematic naturalization. 8. Preserve the Islamic and Arab identity of Bahrain. 9. Form a national body to oversee the election of members of the Constitutional Assembly. 10. Emphasize on equitable distribution of wealth and maintain the resources of the nation for future generations. 5th, mechanisms of revolutionary work and activities. They insist on peace and force is restricted to self-defense, meaning we only defend ourselves when we have to. A. Field work. People from all sectors, age, groups of the society take part in various protest activities from which civil resistance is vital. In addition to improving existing means and creating new ones that youth revolutionaries take the massive part in. B. Media activities. Because it plays a critical role, media takes importance in the revolutionary work, including conveying demands of the revolution and revolutionaries to the world, and exposing the brutality of the illegitimate Al-Khalifa regime and mercenaries, and condemn the occupation of Saudi forces and the complicity of the Western countries. In addition to producing audio-visual and written material of the revolution to preserve within the cultural and historical heritage of the country. C. Human rights activists. Their role is 1. To monitor human rights violations and establish permanent links with the human rights defenders and organizations around the world. 2. Follow up and fully support lawsuits filed against the figureheads of the illegitimate regime of Al Khalifa in international courts. D. Political activities. 1. Cooperate with the revolutionary tide that has swept the region and the world and support the legitimate demands of all people yearning for freedom. 2. Forge appropriate political alliances to support the demands of the revolution. 3. Open pathways for cooperation and coordination with various regional and international bodies based on parity and power stemming from the belief in our cause. So the conclusion is, this document summarizes our vision regarding the political situation in our beloved homeland, which we struggle to shift from a grim present to a bright future, free from the brutal and dictatorial Al Khalifa regime. We pray to Allah to guide and support us in restoring our lost freedom and dignity. We vow to our martyrs, detainees and people that we shall never deviate from the revolutionary path until our victory is achieved. Thank you very much.